The way that I want to participate to this conversation is by giving you all advice and tips on ways that you can cope with your mental health, and not just cope, all right? Because we don't want to just survive this, right? We want to come out of this better, a little bit stronger, a little bit healthier, a little bit wiser, harder, better, faster, stronger. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bex, B-E-X. I know, last week I said law school series is coming to you this week. I realized that this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. I wanted to participate in that conversation because I told y'all from the very beginning of this channel, where we're taking on adulthood day by day, one day at a time, that we were going to be focusing on things that are a little bit uncomfortable, real life stuff, okay? Because I believe that there needs to be more of that on YouTube, more of that in the world, more of that in society. Here I am bringing it to you because I want to stay true to what the original purpose and intention of this channel was, and 2020 has truly tested our mental health. So we need to talk about it. The way that I want to participate to this conversation is by giving you all advice and tips on ways that you can cope with your mental health, and not just cope, all right? Because we don't want to just survive this, right? We want to come out of this better, a little bit stronger, a little bit healthier, a little bit wiser, harder, better, faster, stronger. Right? So I decided to come up with 10 tips for y'all, some things that I've think that could be good for other people going through different types of things, because we're not all experiencing this the same way, and so I want to make sure that my tips are comprehensive. So we're gonna get right into the first tip. I'm looking down because I have them on my computer right here, is to get moving. Keep your body moving. Go outside and exercise. Get your serotonin up. Get your endorphins up. I've found that exercising and moving my body has been the best way to keep my endorphins high and keep my mood high, like up and positive, and throughout the whole day, as opposed to other things that I do indulge in that I feel like only give me little bursts of happiness, little, you know, put me in a happier state or more positive state for like 5 minutes at a time, and then I get kind of back down into myself or back into my thoughts. I think that trying to find things that give you long-lasting satisfaction, long-lasting fulfillment is a lot better, because not only benefit us during this time of COVID and quarantine, I think that it'll make us better off when we're all back to normal, whatever that's going to be looking like at that point. My next that goes along with being active is to take breaks during your work. If you're somebody who's working from home right now, if your job is demanding of you to be sitting in one place at a time for like 8 hours and just staring at a screen, I highly suggest to take breaks every 30 minutes to every hour. I was listening to a podcast the other day where they said that one of the habits of highly effective people is that they took a break every 51 minutes, which is so precise, and I don't know the science behind it. I don't understand it. All I know is that I heard this fact and I was like, that's very interesting. Now, maybe everybody's different, right? So you might need a break every 30 minutes. You might need a break every 15 minutes if you're somebody who can't keep your attention for a long amount of time. But I think that taking breaks, getting your body moving, go outside, take a lap around the block. You won't look like a crazy person. Take a lap around your house or your apartment and just give yourself the break to stand up, get your blood flowing, and not just be focused on work for an extended period of time. Another suggestion that I have is to read more, to learn more, whether that's reading fictional books that allow you to kind of get out of your own situation and go into a new world. I know a lot of people, you like to read for escapism, whether that's doing that for that purpose or reading something educational so you can learn a new skill, develop better habits. I think that you'll find that when you do things that are going to better yourself, you feel really good about yourself and you feel like you're doing something that you deserve. My next piece of advice is to get in touch with your faith if you're religious. I don't want to harp on this too much because I don't want to preach to somebody about being religious or joining a certain religion. I just think that if you want to use this time to self-reflect and be a little bit more informed on spirituality, on religion, maybe taking the time to kind of focus in on that. I think it's something positive for a lot of people, and it has gotten people through many things that are very similar to COVID or worse. On that path of doing things that are more positive for ourselves, getting off of social media is another tip that I have. I know that I took times even before COVID where I would just get off of social media for months at a time, weeks at a time, because I find that it's very important to kind of filter what you surround yourself by. And if you work a stressful job, there's no reason why you have to keep your Facebook and go on Facebook and see the number of death tolls rising. I think that the more you filter what you see, the more you can shape your reality. And I know this sounds crazy, but if you get off social media and stop watching the news, you could literally pretend like there's nothing going on right now. Now that's all things considered that you don't have COVID or you're not someone you know is not affected with COVID. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're healthy, your family's healthy, and you just want to protect your mental state, because we're talking about mental health right now, guys, one of the best ways to do that is to filter what you see, what you interact with, who you interact with, and who you're listening to, because you can that's what shapes part of your reality. And if you're someone who's heavily affected by your outward environment and that stimulus, you need to be aware of that and filter it. Stay on a positive note, journal a little bit more. I think sometimes just getting your thoughts out onto paper, trying to get out of this and getting it more to the physical world. Write down how you're feeling that day and just kind of let it be on the paper. And once it's on the paper, it's on the paper and you can let go of it. Something else that I've been doing before COVID, but what's really been helping me through COVID, is writing 3 things every single night before I go to bed that I am grateful for. I will write anything from I'm grateful that my dad made a really good dinner tonight to I am so grateful that my mom is safe, knowing that she is a nurse right now and could potentially be exposed to COVID. You can find gratitude in everything, and I think that this is another thing that can last beyond COVID, that if you start developing these habits of being more grateful every single day and finding the gratitude through the struggle, that after COVID, you'll be better off for sure, and it'll help you just kind of realize the things you've taken for granted a lot of the times. My next tip is to do creative things. This is another thing to kind of get you out of here, out of the head, and more into the physical world. Again, I'm going to keep stressing that is really important, and I think is really beneficial when you create something with your hands, when you're just doing something that allows you to just not be so wrapped up in your thoughts. Try and find a new hobby and try and be creative. Doesn't mean you have to be artistic, just means that you're just trying something new and trying to be productive without thinking too hard. If you feel like you just really need to get stuff off your mind, talking to somebody is really, really helpful. I find that when I am the most stressed is when I'm really bottling things up inside and I'm not being able to offload them, whether that's onto a piece of paper or not necessarily offloading your problems to somebody else, but just asking somebody, hey, I've been really down in the dumps. I just need somebody to hear me out. There are lots of websites, I believe, and apps where you can talk to therapists online right now. There are hotlines. Just being able to vent and get some stuff off your chest, I think, is really healthy, and there's no shame in that. Another thing is to take care of yourself. Treat yourself. I made a video which I will link to a spa day at home, which teaches you some face mask recipes, lip scrub recipes, and iced coffee recipe. So just things that you can do to kind of give yourself a pamper day, because you deserve it. You're surviving this. You deserve it. You are going to work in a pandemic. You deserve it. All my essential workers out there, you should be pampering yourself. You deserve it. Just keep reinforcing this idea. You deserve to take care of yourself. You deserve to go outside and exercise. You deserve all of those things because you're alive, you're here, and you have to live your life. So you deserve to do those things for you. Lastly, finding things to look forward to. I know I stated before, part of what I believe contributes to mental health issues and just frustration overall is not being present, but I also think that sometimes it's okay to have little bits of hope, because I think when we start to lose hope, that's also when we start to enter our most depressive and anxious states. And when we have little bits of hope, which is usually things to look forward to, I think that we find ourselves being a little bit more positive, more optimistic outlook. And I think that finding things to look forward to, whether that's planning for a wedding, if somebody's getting married and you thought that you were going to get married this year but you can't now, just still finding ways to find the positive in that and planning that for the future. I think that if, there's just so many things that we could kind of try and look forward to and planning something that you can look forward to, not necessarily ignoring the fact that this is our current reality, but just giving yourself a little bit more hope and changing your outlook on life. It's saying, this is my current reality, but that doesn't mean that it can't change and I can't be more positive on what is yet to come, because this isn't going to be our forever, guys. I know it's not going to be. I believe that this is very temporary and that this is just something we have to struggle and endure now, and we will come out better as long as we use this time wisely and really try and get in touch with ourselves and try and figure out what it is that we really want out of life. Guys, I really hope you found this video useful, and I really also don't want to come across as preaching or as an expert on things on mental health, because this is stuff that I also struggle with personally. I know that even before COVID, I felt like I was in quarantine last fall. I felt like I was in a place where I was stuck, I was working, I was living at home, and I just felt very isolated. I actually felt like COVID happened for me way earlier than when it really did, and now I'm able to look at things a lot differently because of some of these little habits that I've been implementing into my day. Granted, not everybody is privileged or lucky enough to have all this time on their hands, and I think that the more you can implement just one thing at a time, the easier you'll find it to cope with what's going on right now. I just want to make sure that the intention of this video is to just help those who need it right now and to address and to contribute to the mental health conversation, because we are all struggling with things whether or not we tell people. And I think that whether you want to deal with it on your own or you want to talk to somebody else, whatever approach you take is the approach that you need and what's best for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you felt like these tips are even remotely helpful. Comment down below what you've been doing to cope through all of this, and please subscribe, because I promise that my next videos will be about the law school series and I will start getting into that more. I just felt like this was important, guys. I felt like I had to talk about it, okay? I had to bring it up because I feel like we're kind of ignoring the obvious right now, a little elephant in the room. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe so that we can see each other again next week. Bye.